Today we'll discuss ionotropic receptor. These ionotropic receptors are also called as the ligand gated ion channels. So we'll discuss these ionotropic receptors. So these ionotropic receptors mostly these are nothing but the proteins which are present on the cell surface or cell membrane. These are the ionotropic receptors. These receptors are nothing but the proteins which are present on the cell surface or cytoplasm. Mostly they are present on the cell surface or cell membrane. So binding of agonist. This agonist may be a ligand or any drug, any neurotransmitter. So binding of agonist may lead to the opening of channel, and that opening of channel it allows the ion exchange across the cell membrane, and that may lead to the ligand gated ion channel. Why we call them ligand gated ion channel? Because binding of agonist, that agonist may be any drug, neurotransmitter, hormone. This binding of agonist that leads to the opening of channels, and that opening of channels allows ion exchange. There is an exchange of ion across the cell membrane, and that's why it is called as ligand gated ion channels or ionotropic receptors. So these ligand gated ion channels, these are act as a targets for the various drugs. Now depending on the ion or depending on the ion channel or as per the need, there is a occurrence of depolarization and hyperpolarization of the cell membrane occurs. Depending on the ions and ion channels, depolarization and hyperpolarization of the cell membrane occurs. We'll see the examples like sodium channels. The drugs which acts on the sodium channels like lignocaine, quinidine, acetylcholine. So what happens when drugs like lignocaine, what is lignocaine? Lignocaine is a local anesthetic. We'll take example of lignocaine. This lignocaine, which is a local anesthetic, what does it do? It diffuses through the cell membrane. It diffuses through the cell membrane. So it will bind to the voltage gated sodium channels. Lignocaine, which is a local anesthetic, it will diffuse through the cell membrane and it will bind to the voltage gated sodium channel. And when it will bind to the voltage gated sodium channel, it will block the sodium entry into the cell. There is a blockade of sodium channel, or we can say it block the sodium entry into the cell. That's why it will raise the threshold for excitation. It will raise the threshold for excitation. So there will be no generation and conduction of action potential, and finally there is the occurrence of local anesthesia. So this lignocaine, quinidine, which is the antiarrhythmic drug, so these drugs acts on the sodium channels, particularly they cause the blockade of sodium channels. The drugs like or neurotransmitter like acetylcholine, this acetylcholine will act on the nicotinic receptor. It will act on the nicotinic receptor and it will opens the sodium channels. It will opens the sodium channels. Then we have calcium channel blockers. We have calcium channel blockers like nifedipine and verapamil. Again, there is a blockade of calcium channels. Again, there is a blockade of calcium channels. So this nifedipine and verapamil, and there is one more drug, diltiazem. These are the calcium channel blockers. Then we have chloride channels. It's not a chloride channel, it's a this potassium channel. Potassium channel opener. We know that nicorandil is a potassium channel opener that we use in case of treatment of angina pectoris. Nicorandil, which is a potassium channel opener, and sulfonylurea that we use in the treatment of type 2 diabetes mellitus or anti-diabetic drug glimepiride, glycazide, glipizide. These are the sulfonyl ureas. So that drug causes blockade of the potassium channels. So all these are the examples of ionotropic receptors or ligand gated ion channels.